I would say three things to say. And I told Christy that, like, my thinking is right down the middle. So I'm going to attack both sides. Like the ones that are calling for Locke to go and the ones that are saying patience. I'm going to attack both of you. Number one, Locke is not going to go anywhere. He's going to have these last 4 games. And I think he's at minimum at least going to get 3 to 4 games next season before anything happens. 2, there's a lot of people that are comparing Drew Lock to Josh Allen. Knock it off. Like, it doesn't work. They don't. They're different talents, different draft status, different rosters, different coaches, different circumstances. It doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to compare Drew Lock and Josh,
anybody, then how do
you can't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't really do that. And even if you did, you've got 26 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, so you can. That's thousands of quarterbacks that didn't make it into the Hall of Fame. So you can quote Josh Allen, and then you're going to get 6 terrible quarterbacks that you can quote to Drew Lock too. You can't compare them. It doesn't work. And then there's the other ones that are patience no matter what. Blah blah blah. Keep them on here. How long are we supposed to be patient for? Like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, half a year, 6 games, 2 games. How long are we supposed to be patient for? You know, there was I was listening to the Huddle Up podcast the other day, and Chad was saying that Brock Osweiler had said that you can't really judge a quarterback until they're 20 games in. Well, he's 15 games in. Can we start judging yet? Like, his body of work does not really give us a reason to be patient. Like, I understand wanting to compare how to get a quarterback from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, but it's not the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. The NFL is not the same. Coaches aren't the same. Players aren't the same. It doesn't work. Different systems, different offenses. They have thousands of more reps coming out of college than they used to. It doesn't work. They're completely different things. It's kind of like in the 80s, 90s when it was running back heavy. It definitely is not running back heavy. They don't even tackle the same anymore. Like, so I understand wanting to be patient, but patience can only go so far. Like, he's getting ready to go into year 3. I don't care how many games he started. He's going into year 3. So how patient do we need to be before we're like, hey, look at these numbers and tell me that he's going to be the future of the Broncos?
So what do you guys need to see from him in these last 4 games to feel confident for next year?
There's nothing that I can see in the next 4 games to make me confident. He's gonna stay, but like, people keep thinking that we want like an all-star Super Bowl winning quarterback right out of the draft. No, we want to see progress. There hasn't been any, none. There's been no progress. If you show me any sort of progress, I'll feel a little bit better. But he hasn't shown any yet.
Well, the problem, like I keep saying, with any quarterback that comes into the league is, as much as we don't want to admit it, Patrick Mahomes has set the bar. So when any quarterback coming in, whether it's Drew Lock or Justin Herbert or Gardner Minshew, whoever it is, if they do not live up to a certain expectation, the first thing people say is, he's no Patrick Mahomes. And then it goes down to Lamar Jackson. He's no Lamar Jackson. Then it goes down to he's no Josh. So basically, there's like this ladder that quarterbacks coming into this league get ranked on. And unfortunately, it really sucks because not every quarterback that comes into this league is going to have a year like Patrick Mahomes did in 2018, because it all comes down to coaching. If you take, and a lot of people keep saying about, had Patrick Mahomes gone to Chicago or Houston, I don't think that Patrick Mahomes has the same amount of success in those systems, because look at how Trubisky has come out to be. And Deshaun Watson, as good as he is, he's also struggling. And look at how many coaching changes they went through. So the coaching has a big part into the development of a quarterback. And we have a defensive-minded coach in Vic Fangio, and we have Pat Shurmur, who's probably still running plays that John Elway can memorize in his head. So, one of those two things eventually has to give. And I, for one, was never really happy with the decision of letting Scangarello go, because I felt that him and Drew Lock were finally getting together on, what works and what didn't, because those 4 or 5 games that Lock started last year, he was playing some of the best football we've seen out of him. And then he comes into this year like completely rookie-ish, like those other games never happened. So if anything, to me, were happened to get done, I think Denver probably looks at what offensive coordinators are out there, and maybe they do another switch, which I and obviously it wouldn't really help Drew Lock to give him another offensive coordinator, but that's what I think Denver would probably end up doing this offseason.
It's just kind of maddening to, like, one side goes way this way and one side goes way that way. Like, meet in the middle, people.
Yeah. It's hard to pick a middle with people that have totally different perspective of him. And if you came into the season expecting Drew Lock to win the Super Bowl, then you're going to be heavily disappointed right now. And you're going to say, well, it's time to just let him go. But if you came into the season and you were, a little more realistic, thinking, this kid's got some talent, we want to see what he has. And it's been a rough season all around for all the players. So again, with the excuses, it's not an excuse. Like, let's give him a real chance. Let's give him all the weapons that he needs. Let's give him a setup like Mahomes has, and let's see what he can do. Let's, wait it out a little bit. And
Okay,
you can go, let's just look at Tom Brady and Bill Belichick with the coaching. Take those two away from each other, and what do you have? You have Tom Brady, who's
at the Bucs.
obviously not doing well, and you have Bill Belichick that's obviously not doing great either. But both of those aspects you can put together along with Drew Lock, it's not a good fit, and we can tell that it's not a good fit.
Right.
And I don't know. It's hard to say what they should do, because you obviously don't want to give the kid another quarterbacks coach. You don't want to give him another offensive coach. It's just, they're in a hard spot, and either way, they're going to do something. So
Yeah, I mean, Shermer's obviously, like, half of the blame goes to Shermer. Like, that's just stupid. Like, the best case scenario out of that is if we do get rid of Shermer, is just to bring Shula up. Like, that would be, so at least there'd be continuity there.
Right.
But I guess